Good morning and welcome to Southern University press conference with head coach Eric Dooley. This morning, Coach Dooley will be on the call. This is his actually first full day in office. Been traveling back and forth from Baton Rouge to Houston, Texas, getting things settled at Prairie View before he transitioned fully to Southern. Gentlemen, this morning, Coach Dooley will be using my computer. So what I would ask you guys to do to go in a order. The order is set will be Jim Kleinpeter, Jacques Doucet, Jared, Joseph, J. Walton, WBRZ, Jock Porter, and Kevin Baptiste. That's the order where I like you guys go in because I will not be on the screen moderating from a separate computer. So if you guys can please go through that order, go through that order for me, that would be greatly appreciated. I will be in here with Coach Dooley the entire time. So I would ask you guys to go through that order. First, I'm gonna turn the computer around to Coach Dooley and open up the floor for Coach Dooley.
Good morning.
Good morning, Coach.
How's it going?
Okay.
Good. How about you?
Great. Everything's good.
Okay. I guess my first question is how many kids did you sign, and what are some of your impressions of the signing class and the facts around that?
Well, we signed about 8 and still got a couple of that we're waiting to come in, but they all in. The 8 that we signed, I thought it was some immediate needs, and I think it's impact those positions and impact our football team. So those was the signing, and that was the reason of signing those guys. Wasn't so much, I know it was a sense of urgency to try to get guys in, but then you can, try to get guys in and really miss out what you really need. So I kept to the format as to getting guys that I thought can be a necessity to us right now.
Can you talk about some of them individually, and how many of them are high school signees, and how many junior college kids are you bringing in?
It's about 3 high schoolers, and the rest was junior college and transfer guys.
Okay. Can you talk about specifically with their names and what impact they?
Yeah, right here in our backyard, when you talk about a kid like Chris Best, very, very athletic, had opportunity to win the state championship, a guy that I feel can play any one of the spots on the defensive line. I thought that was very important that we got him in. He's a young guy, but I think he's a guy that's very active and can help out immediately right now. And I don't worry about being a freshman. I think his body, his makeup, and his ability to play is going to give him opportunity to compete right now from Southern Lab. Then you also talk about the guy, Darren Morris. I think that was a big signing to me. You're talking about a wideout, a position that I thought was needed on this team. When I say immediate needs right there, I think wide receiver was an immediate need. You're talking about a guy that has great size, very athletic, and can run, something that you can't coach is speed. So you got to love that. And he's also a state championship player. So I thought those 2 right there that started off right across the street from us was huge to land. Those guys was formally committed, but being committed means anything. Doesn't mean anything because those guys can always change. Everybody, as I was talking, as soon as those guys finished the state championship, somebody was in the office trying to persuade them to come to other different schools. So I thought that was a big, huge impact that we got. Then we went up into North Louisiana and got a guy by the name of Kelby Gibbons, another defensive end. You guys can see that I went heavy on the defensive side right now. But Kelvin Gibbons is a guy, matter of fact, he was the MVP of that district. Got great size, a guy that I think can come in and compete right now. We don't sign guys if we don't think they can come in and compete right now. Whatever happens, I'm never going to redshirt no one for the next coach. So I'm going to get them ready to play right now. But Kelvin Gibbons was a huge need, I thought, on that side of the ball. When you talk about those was like the high school guys that we were able to sign that I think, and it's going to be few because right now I think the recruiting world has changed. When you talk about this transfer portal, you got to really heavily look at it, but you just can't sign everything that's in the portal because everything doesn't fit. Then we had an opportunity, we lost the all-conference, all-American, probably a draft pick left tackle in Jatari, and hopefully I could have gotten here before he signed with the agent. That would probably have been my biggest recruit. But unfortunately, I didn't. He signed. I still wish him well and let him know he can come and do whatever he need to do here. But we was able to sign a guy by the name of Bryce McNair out of Ohio. Guy that's very athletic, be coming in as a transfer, has experience, has the athletic ability, has the size that we evaluate him now to come in and compete for a starting job like right now. So that was very, very big for us. Then we went on the other side of the ball, right up the street. We was able to sign this guy by the name of Taj Brown, a defensive lineman. Again, a guy that was a starter where he came from, but he also can play all the positions. He can play the defensive end. He can play the 5. He can play the 4-eye. He can play the 3 technique as well as the nose. When you get a guy with that size and athletic ability, I think it's very, very important that you get him in your program. And he was willing to come, and he's coming as a grad transfer. Then the other guy we were able to sign is, I thought you guys know as well, the linebacker core. We definitely had to get some guys in here with some experience. We was able to land one guy, Jalen Campbell. He's a guy coming out of JUCO, pretty good guy, plays well, got great size, got speed, and that's what I like on that side of the ball. We are waiting on, right now, I think it's in. I just haven't checked my email. 2 guys that's going to be very, very impactful to what we're trying to do, offensively and defensively. Try to check my email to see if those guys are in and the clearance to even talk about them. But I know before we get off this call, I have the opportunity to talk about those guys right now. And we're in the process of holding right now on a couple of guys that's going to come back. You talk about the whole scheme of it with school closing, being able to get scholarships out right now is going to be a little difficult, but those guys are trusting in what we're saying and they want to be here. So I can tell you now, those guys will probably be signing, not with no big splash where it's going to be all over television, but those guys will be signing and coming in school this January.
Oh, let me ask you, Kelby Gibbons, what school was he from?
He was from Captain Shreve.
Captain Shreve. And then Dylan Campbell, what JUCO was he from?
East Mississippi. East Central.
East Central Mississippi. Okay. Okay. Somebody can go next if they have a question.
Hey, Coach. Good morning, man.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Ready to keep my feet moving.
You said you signed 8. So does that mean you have another? You have another 17 plus the 7, or is that how it works at that level?
Yeah, I wish I had another 30, but so be it. I'll take the 17. I think it'd be good. You know, I did have a chance to assess the team a little bit more as well. And I think they got some good players here. I know they have some good players here. Able to watch some tape and see some of the things that they're doing in practice, some of the things that they did in the game. And I think the foundation is here. I think it's just some added pieces of that puzzle that need to be plugged in. That's going to make us a better football team.
So I'm assuming you'll probably have spring football in March or whatever. What are the things that you want to attack and do between now and then? What's at the top of your list?
Well, right now, I got to get these guys to let them understand our system, what we want to run. And then my thing have always been to play fast. So I got to let them understand the speed of the game. I understand that they had certain practice habits and things that they did, which was great. I can't control that. Now I need to get them to understand how we're going to do things, what we're looking for. And I think the guys are very, very interested because I get multiple calls each day wanting to find out because they're excited about it and ready to play.
Do you have a strength coach yet?
Yes, I do have a strength coach.
Okay. Do you have can you share his name or? Who
I do. I think I can share all those guys' names. The only reason why I'm just kind of not big on to pass the background check. I just try to stay within the policy because those guys have been cleared, but I'm pretty sure, no, I know they're going to clear it. They better clear the background check. So it shouldn't be an issue. But I do have a strength coach. You can kind of almost piggyback look at the guys that most of them are coming with me from the place I left from.
Okay, last one, and I'll get out. I know you've been working so hard just to build this thing up, but what's it been like for you to be home? The feedback, seeing people you hadn't seen, and everything. Your return to Southern.
It's been great. It's been a heartfelt welcome, and they understand that, and I love seeing them because I do miss being around the people that I say that I love. But it's time for me to take the pats off the back. I got to go to work because I do know one thing about Southern University. I know the expectations here. So the pats on the back is over with, for as I'm concerned, and I appreciate all the guys all the individuals that's welcoming me back. But now it's time to go to work.
Hey, Coach, Jared Joseph here with Fox 44. You talked a lot about the front seven and the recruiting that you're doing in that area, but I think the elephant in the room is you lost your best playmaking pass rush with Jordan Lewis entering the transfer portal. What conversations did you have with him, and what led to his decision?
I think we all would be surprised. He haven't made a decision. I know it was out there in the air. He'll line down for the blue and gold this year.
And, how much of a challenge has it been just to re-recruit guys in some form of capacity? You lose Jatari, and I just spoke about Jordan, but getting guys to buy in early on to a coach they have no familiarity with.
Well, I think it helps when you had the opportunity to compete against that coach and understand. So it's not like I'm coming from afar off where they never heard of me and they have to do some research. I mean, they face me head on, so they understand who I am and what I'm about. And then just a lot of the guys on the team I have recruited, so I have relationships with, so they already know who I am. And then just the opportunity. I think guys just want an opportunity. But I did say from the beginning, it doesn't matter who you are and where you go at. The challenging part is not going out to get new pieces. The challenging part is keeping the pieces that you already have, because we can keep this thing professional as you want to, but things are taking place. So you got to try to keep the guys that you have. And I think you want the guys to be here. Of course, I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure that they stay here, let them understand what's ahead. So in moving forward, I feel good about what we bring to the table, and I think the guys we're excited and want to stay.
What conversations have you had with the team, and what does the initial feel like? I know it's your first official day or full day in office, but what are those conversations with the players like?
Well, I had to keep it a little different, but I still wanted to lay the foundation because it wasn't the entire team, because at the time I came in, majority of them was going home, but it was a good number. So I just want to let them know what I stand for, who I am, and what I expect. So I thought it went well, because some of those guys, of course, right now, they're all going to see it until it's time for work. I'm a guy that loves to work. So they're going to have to be ready to run. They're going to have to be ready to lift. They're going to have to be ready to go to class. So it's a thing that I think every coach teaches and preaches. So it's just now coming from a different individual.
And this question isn't entirely Southern based, but the way the SWAC has been the last couple of years, with big names coming in, with Coach Prime over at Jackson State, Hugh Jackson at Grambling. What are your thoughts on the traction the SWAC is getting, but the attention that, to a degree, outsiders are drawing? You as a SWAC West nomad know how this conference is and how it goes. What do you think about some of the traction from the other hires and the competition in the SWAC?
Well, I try not to speak on what the AD of those different universities are looking for. But I'm an old SWAC guy. I think there's a lot of guys within this conference have done some good things, and I know they're looking for opportunities, and that's all we're all looking for. But I don't worry about the big names. It's really what's your definition of a big name. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to line down in between those stripes and play for 60 minutes, and that's what's going to win the football game. So I think to each his own. Each university have their own philosophy of what they're looking for and what they're trying to bring to the table. And fortunate enough, is bringing a lot of attention to our conference. So of course you would be, in my opinion, foolish not to accept that, because that's all you want. You want to be seen. You want to be able to tell your own story. So I think with the coming of Deion Sanders, I thought it was great. It brings competition. I think every coach in this league wants competition. I want to compete. It doesn't matter who it is. So I think it's good for the conference.
All right, one last question, and I'll shut up, guys. The way that this roster is constructed right now, the offense that you want, how much of it is already there with the players that you have and can immediately install it with?
I think they got some pieces here that I need for it, but the one piece that is missing is something that I'm very, very familiar with. We got to get some wideouts. There's no question about it. So I don't have an issue with that. That's the one thing that I can identify with. But, you know, when you have an offensive line, yes, you lost some key pieces, but I think you got some guys that back those guys up and some of the guys that we're bringing. So I'm very excited about what we have. We have a couple of guys that can throw the football. Of course, it's not a secret. I'm going to recruit a quarterback because that's what you do when you come to a new program. But for the most part, I think the key ingredients are there. Now it's just up to me how I'm going to add to it to make it the offense that I need it to be.
Hey, Coach, just to clarify something, how's it going? Did you say Jordan Lewis has not entered the portal?
He has, but he'll play for Southern University.
Okay. And as far as your defense, in the time you had to watch the film, I guess, did you see, I guess, a lack of playmakers on defense that you would need to get, corrected?
In different spots, I did. In different spots, I didn't. The linebacker crew, I need some linebacker crew that can fill a hole, some linebacker crew that can run, that are physical and fast. So I know we need that, and then we need some guys in the back that can get in your face, play man-to-man coverage, and also play zone and be able to make those plays when the opportunity presents itself. I think some of the pieces are there. We're definitely looking to bring some guys in that's going to be able to compete. It's about competition every day. It's competition even the week of the game. So it won't change anything. It's just going to, I think, make us a better football team. They understanding that they have to compete day in and day out.
And as far as the offense goes, Southern has been running, the same offensive concepts for quite some time. You think it's going to be take a little minute for them to pick up your system?
No, I think they'll pick it up this spring and be ready to go with it. I think it's a easy system to pick up with, and I like to say it in a good way. An easy system for them to pick up, but a complex system for the stop because of the things that are built into it. I mean, it's quarterback friendly. If you put the time into it, it takes no time. When you think of my first year at Prairie View, I did not run. I wasn't an offensive coordinator. I hired an offensive coordinator, and he had a different offense. That it wasn't until after the spring that I installed my offense, and we had a lot of success. Of course, that comes with the different playmakers that you have that to make the offense go. So that's all it's about, getting some Jimmys and Joes that can run those plays that you want to call to make that coach look like he knows what he's doing.
All right.
Hey, Coach, it's Corey Roldan from WBRZ. What are you looking for in a quarterback? I know you say you're trying to recruit a quarterback. Are you going after in the portal or a high school kid? And what exactly are you looking for in a QB?
I'm looking for a game changer. That's summing up in one word. I need a game changer. A guy, so many guys want guys that can manage the game. You're going to manage the game regardless because that's who you are. You're a quarterback. But I need a guy that know that he can make every throw and feel that he's going to make every throw. Know that he can read the box and understand what he needs to check to. A guy that's a student of the game. Very athletic. A guy that can run the RPOs because I'm a big RPO guy. But also a guy that can stand in the pocket and still throw it down the field. We're going to be balanced on offense. We're going to be able to run it. We're going to be able to throw it. The good thing that I think that I came into that I have had in the past is good tight ends to mix with that. A lot of folks get the misconception that when you're a spread unit that you don't use tight ends. I use tight ends every year that I had a successful offense. So I think a lot of the pieces are here. Just have to work and looking at some of the tape of the quarterbacks are here. I think they are capable. Now it's just understanding the system that I asked them to do. And they're going to have to be able to throw the long ball. I can tell you that.
And why did you start on the defensive side of the ball with this early signing class?
Because my experience now, when I went to Prairie View, I was a rookie. I didn't know any better. I just thought I'm just going to outscore everybody. I'm an offensive guy. That's what my mindset. I just need the offense. I'm going to score 100 points. nobody can do it. But then I understood as I grew into the profession as a head coach that you need a defense that is just as good as your offense. And I think that kind of like brought us to a different light when we attacked the defense. And then I also thought that I had to build inside out. What I mean by that, in the trenches, I had to get the offense and defense alignment to build a program inside out. So now with the experience, I know that is what needed, and that's why I'm going to attack that. You cannot get enough defensive players, especially down front, to help your football team to be a better team.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach, you said that you're waiting on the background checks. When do you expect to be able to announce your coaching staff?
I would say today is pretty much there. I think those guys are clear, but I guess I'm just real cautious. I always want to make sure I cover myself to whereas I don't have to put my foot in my mouth. But I feel real good about it because those guys are ready to go.
But so you think you will be able to find out their names today? I mean, I'm asking because
I know their names. I'm just waiting to release it. I know all of their names.
Right, that's what I mean. When will
I can give you their names, they date of birth, their social security. I know all of it. I just can't release it right now.
That's what I want to know, when you can release them. Do you know when that will be?
Today.
Today. Okay. So we will find out today. Okay. And can you mentioned a kid, the grad transfer, Todd, what was his last name?
Brown.
Brown. Okay. And where is he transferring from?
He's transferring from Nicholls State.
Nicholls. Okay. All right. And then there's the two kids from Southern Lab. And then, okay. All right. Okay. I think I'm good on that.
Coach.
Yes.
Are you and the sports information department going to produce some graphics of these kids so that, we can share it with the Jaguar Nation and the people who are asking questions about everybody?
Absolutely. The SID called me every minute on the minute. When can I release it? When can I release it? He's ready to release them right now. So it's just a matter of, and I could have done the other ones, but I just kind of wanted to do it as a whole. So I momentarily, those guys should, if it's not in already, he's checking now and should be able to tell you the other guys.
Same with the coaches?
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Coach, what's your opinion on the transfer portal? Some people say it's really hurting high school kids because they don't have any place to go leaving high school because it's free agency. What are you seeing?
Of course, it's very helpful if you're trying to get a quick fix. But, me personally, I like to develop players. I love going into the high school, getting those young men to bring into your program to teach them something on a different level, to whereas, now you can develop that player and see the growth of that player from when he arrived as a freshman and now he's a junior or, a guy that may accelerate a little faster. Now he's a sophomore. So I kind of miss those days, but in order to survive, you're going to have to stay with the game. You don't have time to develop because I don't think there's any athletic director or president going to give you time to develop if guys are getting guys that are ready made right now. But I do hate it for the high school students because I love recruiting in high schools.
The talent in Baton Rouge has always been great, but have you noticed the Madison Preps, the Southern Labs, Zachary down the road, all these schools are even better than ever at this point?
I know so well because my previous place, I had a bunch of them on the team that I recruited. I recruited the Zacharys, the Scotlandvilles, the Madison Prep, St. James, all those guys, because that's just my history of recruiting in the Louisiana area, the guys from New Orleans, from Etna Carr. So I was able to get those guys, Warren Easton, out of some of those power programs that's been playing good football. So I look to continue to do that. So that's why I know, me personally, I do know that the game has changed, but I'm going to always recruit high school students.
Coach, you're very blunt about being asked about Jordan Lewis twice now. What gives you so much confidence he's going to play for the Jaguars next year?
Just my conversation with him.
Right. Can you explain in any capacity what led him to entering the portal to begin with?
Well, he's still a young adult, not knowing, still have an inquisitive mind, want to know what he should do. And it looks good because, everything that we do now in today's society is a copycat. Okay, I can enter the portal. Everybody, it sounds good. I make a big splash. I decide to take my talent here. This guy's just doing stuff that they see other guys. And then you have people that's in that outside ear telling them what they should do and what they shouldn't do. But a lot of times it's not always the best decision. I will say this here, from my conversation with Jordan Lewis, I feel very, very confident. But I always want a young man to go where he's going to be happy at, because you can't play your best football if you're not happy.
Right. And going back to the offense, well, before I go there, how important is it for Jordan Lewis to stay here just for the team camaraderie and the defense's impact?
Well, I think it's very important. Although he's one of the top defensive players in our conference, it's still all about competition. I think it works well for him to be here. You're talking about one of the better defensive linemen in our conference. So why would you want to, in my sense, give away a Jerry Rice? Why would you let a guy go that can play when you're looking for playmakers? But then again, that individual, it has to come both ways. They got to want to be here. And from our conversation, he wants to be here. It's just some things that we'll take care of. And I feel real confident that he'll be here.
Right. And going back to the offense, you had said, you need wide receivers. That's an immediate need. But some of the players that they have had, I'm certain Marquise McLean may be gone, but you have Khalif Gossett, Tyler Kirkwood, Whitfield. You have players who have made some plays for the Southern this past year, and Ethan Howard at tight end, a plethora of tight ends as well. How much of the offense in the passing game was a need for new personnel or a lack of utilization?
Well, I won't say new personnel. I'd say more personnel. I do like that the guys that you name, I've already researched them and saw the potential and what they can do. Of course, I recruited Whitfield, every place he's been, so I know a whole lot about Whitfield. So that he's not a stranger, so I know what he's capable of doing. But they do have some guys here, as you look at some of the practices, you can see some of the things that they're doing, and they're very hopeful in what you have now. Now, instead of needing this amount of receivers, maybe not as many.
Right. And you already spoke a bit about the coaching staff and where they're coming from. How much of this will be a Southern rendition of PV or just a new look altogether?
Well, it's not a new look. I can't say that, but I can say that these guys are very, very familiar with Southern University. They're very familiar with Southern University.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, last year, our cornerbacks kind of got torched a little bit based on size. Are you trying to get some taller, bigger cornerbacks this year?
I'm not a size guy. I do know that guys are bigger. I just want playmakers. Normally when you get a corner that's not as big or tall, those guys got something extra to them. They vertical is probably off the chart, or they're very, very fast. So, different things we look for, but I do know we're going to be an aggressive style defense. So those corners going to have a little length, no question about that.
Coach, there was a transfer from Troy who was unable to get eligible in the fall, named Terrence Dunlap. Is he going to be in school in January? Do you expect to have him?
I expect to have him on this roster when we line out in fall 2022. I've already had conversation with him. Everything is good to go.
Okay.
Trying to, excuse me guys from looking, I'm trying to see something did come through. I'm trying to make sure we're clear to go with the guys that I'm actually talking about bringing in. Just can't ever be too careful, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are your thoughts on Bubba McDaniel? You've seen him play and you've seen him up close, I guess.
Yes, I have. I think he's a quarterback that you can count on. I've seen some good things that he throws. He's more of the quick game type quarterback, guy that's going to manage the game. Some of the things I already talked to him that he needs to do to enhance his ability to play within his offense, and he understands it, and he's waiting on it. So I think he's going to be able to come and compete. I just got him.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
See, can you get it to Ms. Plummer? They are both of them right there. Okay. I guess I just need to send it to Ms.
You'll
Plummer.
send it to Ms. Plummer.
Tell her if she can.
Straight to Ms. Plummer. That's what I call. I'm gonna call till it's on the way.
Tell her just give me clearance so I can speak on it.
And while we wait, Coach, did you get Blue Store yet?
I know also well about the Blue Store. I'm a chicken shack guy. I gotta get the full meal. I gotta get the full meal. Honestly, when we travel here, travel to Jackson when I was at Prairie View, I always would order my food from Chicken Shack. That may have been the problem because those guys was too full. But I've always that's where I get my post-game meal. Sometime if we travel on Thursday, we'll get our lunch from there. But I'm a Chicken Shack guy.
Might be the most controversial thing you said all day, man.
I know also well about both of them. I tell you what, I'm very familiar with all the food places here, so I won't have that problem.
Well, Coach, you spoke about the quarterback, I guess, with Bubba McDaniel, and you've seen Lampley before. When you faced Southern in the past, and you've seen that quarterback carousel, the rotating door, how much of an emphasis will stability be with one signal caller be for you?
It's going to be one guy because he got to be able to own the team right now. He's got to be able to command that offense, and I think it's okay when you can hear one voice. Now, the other guys that does not win the job, you got to support that guy, regardless of what's going on, and understand the leadership and still compete because you still have opportunity to take his job. But I think it's very important that you put a leader out there and they understand who's going to take control of it, because at the end of the day, it is their team. If they don't own it, you go nowhere.
Right. You said he has to be on the team right now. Does that make Bubba the incumbent, or is he just the front runner for the competition in the spring?
I think because of we studying film, I think of where he ended up, he would be the front runner right now. And the way he should look at it is my job to lose. That's the opportunity. But everyone that takes a snap is going to be given an opportunity because we're trying to find that guy. Of course, even signing somebody, they're going to be given that opportunity. I never promise a guy they're going to start. I promise they're going to have the opportunity to start because you have to compete.
Right. You spoke about the transfer portal as well. I don't know how much you can disclose it, but how much maybe have players have shown a desire to want to come with you to PV?
Well, I don't get into that conversation because I think it's not fair to anyone if that exists. Once they get into the transfer portal, that's different. But as long as they're not in the transfer portal, I'm not going to have any conversations about that. My biggest concern to those individuals, if they call me, is if they are doing right academically, because at the end of the day, it still has my name stamped on it. So I don't so much get into that. As far as guys leaving, we know those things are going to happen. And if it happens, and if it's a guy that I think going to fit where we are right now, then I'll go after him. If not, then I have to move on.
Right. And on the recruiting, how difficult has it been getting that quick turnaround, getting hired 2 weeks ago and having to secure a quick early signing class?
Well, it was difficult, but I think it was feasible because we had our hands on a couple of people that we knew that could address the needs immediately. So it wasn't a huge deal. But you still got to continue to grind. You still got to go out there and beat the bushes. It's not over with. To me, recruiting is 365 days of the year. I can't say this here. The one young man is Benny McCray. He's a junior college All-American. Played at Hines Junior College. He was the top quarterback in the JUCO league this year here. We were fortunate enough to sign him. He will be coming here. The interesting thing about him, I've been recruiting him for a while. He checks all the boxes for us. His dad and mom graduated from Southern University. How ironic. His dad was a track runner here at Southern University. So it's very, very pleasing to get a young man of that caliber that checks all the boxes for you. And then his brother was at FIU, already in college, Benny McCray, who's a safety, who we know was a need for us. He's coming in with a lot of experience. So we're able to tab 2 brothers to come in to play. That's going to be a immediately impact for us right now that can compete. And I think it's going to make us a better football team. Those were the 2 guys I was waiting on to sign. I knew it wasn't no hesitation. I knew they were. It wasn't because they were thinking about other things. They were recruited by everyone, but we knew that we had them locked in, and this was the place where they wanted to be at.
Are they twins?
No, they're not. Benny is older than Bishan.
Okay.
You can release those graphics.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I would say, Jim, I would say probably before I meet with the AD, I'll be able to release the coaching staff name here shortly. I don't see an issue with him.
Okay.
I'm probably being more protected than I need to. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's fine. You just,
How many new suits have you bought yet, Coach?
Huh?
How many you bought any new suits yet?
I can't hear you.
You bought any new suits yet?
Any new suits yet? No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Oh man, no new drip. You got to get some new drip when you're back in Baton Rouge.
Everything is new because they haven't seen me in my old suits. But that's a hobby for me, honestly.
you got a lot of blue and gold bow ties, huh?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Blue is my favorite color, so I'm always have blue.
All right. Well, I think we're about done here. Then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Scott, I'll send you guys that coaching list. I probably can get this here shortly once I get off just to go clarify some stuff, and I'll come from there. But I can't tell you guys it's here. There are more names to come. I think we're got our hands on some good guys that's going to impact our football team right away. That's going to enhance the team right away. Just didn't want to right now, and I can tell you this is going to be more of the transfer guys right now because of what we're looking for. But it's going to be a mixture. Still some high school guys out there that we really, really like that they were going to sign, but they, everybody have these old hat tricks and all these things. So they want to wait until February because of a big signing. That's the really national signing date because it's all on ESPN. So we got 3 freshmen that are in high school that I think is very, very good. They were signed in February as well.
All righty.
Well, I'm good. I appreciate you guys, and anything you guys need, of course, you can get in touch with Scott. I'm always available.